Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Wild Roots. Today we're actually going to be looking for some wild roots. We are on the hunt for some younger sassafras trees. We're going to find some sassafras roots and I'm going to try to make some sassafras tea from scratch. So we'll see if we can't find any. If you follow my husband's channel, Captain Kleeman, we're actually out by the timber bridge that he just built. So we're going to do a little exploring and see what we can't find today. Do you know what you're looking for, Michael? So the saplings of the sassafras root are going to be a greenish color. They're going to be like fresh green color instead of like a dry brittle brown. So we're looking for some green saplings. And then once you get a green sapling, we'll smell it and see if that's correct. So we didn't find anything up here on this side of the bridge. We're gonna head up closer to where the old homestead is up the hill. It's a lot of old growth back here, and sassafras is an invasive species, so I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more towards where there's development, where there's space to grow and things like that. And I feel like I remember seeing some up here this summer, back when it still had the leaves and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to find sassafras in the summertime because you can tell by the leaves, the little mitten leaves or the three-pronged leaves or even the single leaves. So we're gonna go browse up here, up the hill a little bit. I just steal this knife from Captain Kleeman. It's like a garden knife. It's got little inches on it and a serrated knife. It's kind of like a shovel slash knife. So we'll get up in there and see if I can't get it out. So we're gonna clear the area. Oh, there we go. Just log. Yeah. That's it. All right, so this one is actually, this is a little small to be taken. You're looking for under 1 inch in circumference on that tree, kind of like the size of your thumb maybe is what you're looking for. But you can definitely tell when you pick up the root, it smells like licorice for sure. You can smell it. So definitely sassafras. This probably make like, I don't know, a cup or two of tea, which is fine by me. That rhymed. So this is what I mean by sassafras being an invasive species. So this is right along our driveway. This is a sassafras. This whole cluster is a sassafras. And you can kind of see the green in the stems. Even if the bark on the main tree isn't green, if you look towards the outcoming stems, those are going to be green, that nice dark olive green. So if you are harvesting this area, again, you take every 2 to 3 saplings, and then of course leave some because it's the ethical thing to do. But obviously there's plenty to go around when it comes to sassafras. Plenty. Found a big old bunch. Let's go. This one you can see, I don't know if you can see in this light, that olive green color to the branches. That is a sassafras tree. So that's how we find a sassafras tree in the wintertime. The best thing you can do is mark them in the summertime, obviously. Mark them in the summertime with a piece of string or something like that, or it's easy to find in the wintertime. It's best to harvest them in the wintertime because that's when they take all their energy and store it in the roots. We're not making tea out of the bark. We're not making tea out of the tree itself. We're going for the roots because that's where all that good flavor is stored in the wintertime. So this is a little bit bigger tree. It's the perfect size though. This one right here, if you look at the size compared to my thumb, that's a good looking sapling right there. This one as well. And as you can see, like, look, they're right next to each other. That's what I mean by invasive. Usually when there's one, there's going to be another one right next to it. I'm sure this whole area is full of them right now. A good rule of thumb is that you take every 3rd tree. So you'll take one, you'll skip over 2, and then you'll take the 3rd one. Almost there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good one. They're attached, aren't they? Yep. I'll be darned. So those 2 trees were attached at the end. So we'll use everything from right where the dirt line is. So from here all the way down. Okay, so that is a good haul right there. Can you smell it?
Yeah.
What does it smell like? To your novice nose.
I'm just excited I can smell things. I'm excited about the sassafras. I'm just excited I can smell things again. Oh yeah, for sure.
Fresh out of the ground. We'll get it cleaned up. We'll get all the dirt cleaned off of it, and you can kind of see the color of the roots and what we're looking for there. So, all right, that's enough for me. We're not making too much. We're only going to try for like a gallon or something like that. So, pretty sure that'll make a gallon. You don't need too much.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Let's make a fire.
Let's make a fire. It's cold out here. All right, so while Captain's getting some kindling and some wood to make a fire for us to make our sassafras tea, I decided to browse the woods a little bit while I was waiting, and I happened across some oyster mushrooms right through a big old sticker bush. So I don't know if I'm gonna go get them, but they're on that dead tree right there. Here's one right here that you can kind of see. So to give you a little backstory, it is January 23rd right now. Like, it is freezing. It's way too cold for me. I'm supposed to be in hibernation right now. I shouldn't be outside, but it's about, I don't know, 15, 20 degrees out here. It's really cold. So there's still tons of forageable stuff out here. You've got the winter oysters, you've got sassafras tea. I mean, you can forage all year long, so that's really neat. Let's see if I'll brave this sticker bush though. I don't know. I'm thinking about my choices here. All the way up there. Those look really good. They are frozen solid though. I have to get a knife out, see if I can't get some. So I grabbed a couple pieces. I didn't want to take too much because they're actually covered in a layer of ice. I've never harvested mushrooms that were already frozen, so I'm going to take them home and experiment a little bit and see how they turn out after they're thawed out. I'm assuming it's just like if you would freeze them at home. Maybe throw them in a chowder or a soup and see how well they do. But they actually look really, really good even though they're frozen. So we'll see. So we are a couple days later now. We actually got an inch or two of snow, so I think a hot cup of sassafras tea will go great today. I have a camping coffee percolator. I took out the percolating part because you actually need the sassafras root to boil in the water and not just steep and percolate in the water. So all that's out. The root's going to be directly in the water that's going to be boiling in this. I thought this would be a little bit easier than doing it in a pot because the actual bark and things will get caught before it pours into the cup. So hopefully this will be easier.
Hey.
Boop.
Fire's going good.
It is going good. Now we wait.
Now we wait.
So this is a sassafras root that I harvested from my grandma's house last year. She had a larger sassafras tree growing up against her chicken coop that needed to come down. So I went ahead and harvested the root, even though it was a little too big. It was bigger than like a 1-inch sapling, obviously. I kept it though because I really like the description of how it's got that classic duck head shape to it that you see in larger sassafras roots. You can see the head here and the root coming off of it. That's very cliche for sassafras. So you can kind of see the red bark in it as well. You can still make tea out of it, but obviously if it's fresher, it's going to have a lot more flavor. Also, if you're using dry sassafras, it's not going to be as strong as fresh, wet sassafras. It's a lot like herbs. If you use fresh herbs, they're a lot more stronger. If you use drier herbs, they're less potent, so you have to use more. So I do have some more fresh sassafras that we harvested earlier today. You can see the red color of the bark. And obviously, it smells like licorice. It has that sweet licorice taste. Another thing you want to look for, this part right here, this outer bark, is where most of your flavor is going to be. It actually even peels off. It's very soft. That's where all the flavor is going to be. You can still use the hardwood part, but that's your best bet right there. Also, you can see where the tree begins and the root begins. You don't really want to use this part. You want to use anything from here down on that root system. It does look like it's boiling up. Oh yeah. Yep, we got a little bit of bubbles. So I'm using about a handful. Not too much. Should do the trick. You want to make sure you get all the dirt off of this before you put it in the water, unless you want to drink dirt. Adds flavor, right? You also want to cut your pieces a lot smaller and try to cut them at an angle, because the more of it that's exposed, the better flavor you're going to get. All right. So steeping time depends on you. You could go 2 hours, 6 hours. Obviously, the longer you put it in there, the more flavorful it's going to be. You don't want to have a rolling boil. You just want a nice, gentle boil, okay? All right, so it's only been about an hour, but we wanted to come down and check it and see how far along it is. So let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, see that pretty color? That nice reddish lavender color. Oh yeah. Michael, I'm assuming you want some, right?
Well, yeah, you filled my cup first.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had our names on it. We'll let it cool a little bit because it's probably piping hot. All right, let's see what kind of color we ended up with after an hour. All right. So that's pretty good after only an hour of being on the fire, being on a low boil. Again, probably 2 hours would have been where we would have liked it. Some people cook it for like 6 hours to get that really dark red looking color, but you can see the red in there from the bark of the sassafras tree. So there's a few things floating around in there. The percolator that we used kept all the big pieces out, but if you want to, you can use a coffee filter or even paper towels to skim out all that little stuff, but it doesn't bother me. If it doesn't bother you, just go ahead and drink it. It won't hurt.
Amelia, will we swimming in this next summer?
It's hard to envision with it frozen solid.
I know.
And plus all the snow on the top of it now. I feel like I could just take off running onto it. Can you taste it?
That's good.